Oh, we're from Tigerland, a fighting fury, we're from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and shin. If we're behind, we never mind, we fight and win. Oh, we're from Tigerland, we never weaken till the final siren blows. Like the tigers of old, we're strong and we're bold. Oh, we're from Tiger, yellow and black. Oh, we're from Tiger, eat 'em alive. Oh, we're from Tigerland. Oh, we're from Tigerland, a fighting fury, we're from Tigerland. In any weather you will see us with a grin, risking head and shin. If we're behind, we never mind, we fight and win. Oh, we're from Tigerland, we never weaken till the final siren blows. Like the tigers of old, we're strong and we're bold. Oh, we're from Tiger, yellow and black. Oh, we're from Tiger, eat 'em alive. Oh, we're from Tigerland. Oh, we're from Tigerland.
We are the Buffaloes. B-U-F-F-A-L-O-E-S, Buffaloes. You go home and get your scannies, I'll go home and get my mannies, and away we'll go. Oh, shuffle up the buffalo, shuffle up the buffalo. Oh, buffaloes never die, never die, never die. Oh, buffaloes never die, they simply fade away. How do you do, all your buffaloes? How do you do? How do you do? How do you do, all your buffaloes? How do you do? How do you do? It's the same old street refrain as the buffaloes won the game. How do you do, all your buffaloes? How do you do? They all played a jolly good game of bally-boo. They all played a jolly good game of bally-boo. They all played a jolly good game, but buffaloes beat them all the same. Inky, pinky, bally-boo. How do you do, all your buffaloes? How do you do? How do you do? How do you do, all your buffaloes? How do you do? How do you do? It's the same old street refrain as the buffaloes won the game. How do you do, all your buffaloes? How do you do? Oh, buffaloes never die, never die, never die. Oh, buffaloes never die, they simply fade away. They simply fade away. They simply fade away.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to AFL NT's coverage of the 2022-23 TIO NTFL Final Series live here from TIO Stadium in Darwin. And this afternoon we have men's Premier League action, and tonight it is the Nightcliff Tigers taking on the Darwin Buffaloes. My name is George Scufezis, joined in commentary by Will Zwar, and this one's shaping up to be an exciting contest to kick off men's Premier League finals, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And welcome, George. It's great to be here today. Yeah, it should be a great final this afternoon between Buffs and Nightcliff. And I think if it was different weather, you'd say that Nightcliff would probably run away 40-point winners. I'm still going to tip that, but the weather definitely opens the door up for Buffaloes. And we just mentioned, looking at the team list, it looks like both sides have really sort of assembled their stocks throughout the year, qualifying various players, and today it's all coming together because it's a slightly different look to what we've seen previous weeks. Nightcliff in particular, looking at players like Jono Peris, Andrew Hooper, who I haven't personally seen in the last few weeks, and yeah, but I have seen them early in this season, so good to see them back here. What do you think some of the key matchups will be today?
Yeah, well, I really do like the... it's going to have to be a team effort, I think, down back for the Buffs. You know, I think man-to-man, they certainly will be out-muscled in terms of their defenders. It looks to see early on Ryan Pendlebury moving back there as well to provide some body, but I think the game's going to be one in the midfield, and whether they can keep the monstrous Jackson Bowen at bay.
Yeah, it'll be a big game for the Buffs ruckman, that's for sure. And there'll be plenty of emotion in this one as well. NT News' Ben Cameron this morning, his preview mentioned that obviously it's the first time these two sides will play against each other in a final, not the first time against each other, but the first final since Kane Riley, who played for both these clubs, played. And yeah, I'm sure both sides will be wanting to get over the line for Kane and in memory of him. About to get underway here. And we'll have the Tigers kicking to the left of screen and the Buffs to the right of screen. Already a bit of argy-bargy in the middle. Let's see how we go. Bowen, I think it was Atkinson who got the first hit out, actually, coming in off the wing there as the Tigers. But Robinson gets the first clearance of the day. He loves getting his clearances up here, and today's no exception. Campbell at full forward, another ex-AFL player, couldn't quite contain it. And so the Tigers will run out of half-back that through their captain Nyhouse. He's spotted Philo donning his new yellow boots today. He's been wearing blue for most of the year, and he's changed for finals by the looks of things. Sliding in through there was another Tigers player. They're up and about early. Pingfer holding the ball. So Pendlebury, he gets away out that far side to Tom Bolsh. A few of the Buffs' big key players getting involved early. He goes inboard now to Paddy Bowles, another one of those players who we haven't really seen in recent weeks, but the team just coming together on paper for this final. And that's Matt Watkins there at the top of the 50. Goes to Campbell at the back. Now there with Nicky. Nicky ducks through one, drops the ball. Holt Fitz lurking. Campbell gets a handball out to him now. He runs around, rolls, snaps a quick one over the top to Nicky. A few former Tigers there combining. Free kick against Nicky will go the way of Nyhouse. Recently, last weekend, was named best and fairest this year, George, and a very well-deserved winner.
Yeah, solid player all year, and really that has made that transition from AFL footy to local footy and led his junior side well. So
Robinson just getting between him and Moo, and the Tigers work the ball forward now. Paddled out again. Now Bowles, he gets it over the top to Coulthard. He goes long to Palmer. Palmer will play on and go to the leader. Stafford beautifully hits him up, and Buffs looking very energetic early on in this one.
Yeah, good open play there. Had Buffalo's player in Acres, and Stafford will take his best from this distance, factoring in the wet conditions, you'd think, but a reliable goal score nonetheless. But exciting signs early on for the Double Blues.
It'll be wet out there, but the ball at this point in the game, you think, pretty dry still, so hopefully that won't have too much weight behind it. It's a good kick, but it's just the wrong side of the post. First behind of the day, and Buffaloes are in front. Nyhouse, he will take a kick out. Really not sure where to look. He's darted his eyes a couple of times, so he'll come out the near side to the Morris Rioli stand, just looking for Big Robinson. Gee, should have looked there first, Ryan. That was a beautiful kick and a good mark from the big fella. Beckons a few. Goes inboard. and goes there from Hammond to Philo. Just goes with a bit of a barrel to half forward. Hooper at the fall of it. Coulthard finds himself with it at the fall of the ball. Now with Moroney, just snaps it high, and that's out on the full. We've got a bit of a frosting, a humidity frosting. I'm not sure what the word is for it. I'm losing it. George in front of us, so excuse us if we miss a little bit of play in that section of the ground that's on your screen right now. Here's Jackson playing on, going inside 50 for the Tigers, and that's a mark to Pendlebury. Good intercept there. He'll look to switch laterally, goes across to Bolsh. He'll play on, touched on the deck. Good, I like to see players touching on the deck here. George, no point bouncing. It's just going to slip away from you. Goes long down the wing. Nicky tried to pick it up, but it's just bounced off his foot and over the boundary line. Philo comes to the bench for a quick change on with Huppets there. Meanwhile, Timmy Eldridge heads on the ground for the first time today for the Buffs. And it'll be free kick to the Tigers. They work it forward. Came in board to Morris, and Morris now goes down the line, but it's come back to half back. Oh, gee, in danger there, and Tanner Coulthard has certainly done his bit to play for it. But we had the most touches so far, Coulthard, George.
Yeah, solid early on, and interesting look up from the Buffaloes. Tommy Bolsh and Pendlebury playing half-back roles.
Brad Stokes playing in the middle as well today. Obviously the absence of Jared Stokes will be huge. Pulled his hamstring, we reckon, in the third quarter of last week's game. But I don't mind that, moving Brad Stokes in the middle, not just because they've got similar surnames, but Brad Stokes has been good off half-back all year. That kick down into the forward line just bounces off Campbell's chest and over the boundary line, so it looks like we'll have a ball up just inside 50 for the Buffs. Ball goes up now. Kept alive by Eldridge, just on the line. Now he kicks a high one to full forward. Campbell again lurking at the back, can't do it. Holt Fitz runs in the goal square. He gets the first one. He likes that, and the Buffs are on the board. 1 goal, 1-7. They lead the Tigers, yet to score.
Yeah, good opening goal there, and a lot of passion shown early on from the former Tiger Premiership player in Holt Fitz, and certainly he has already scored against his former side in this current Men's Premier League season, but a great goal nonetheless. And I do like that early from the Buffaloes. They are taking the game to the Tigers, and perhaps, as you mentioned pre-game, that these conditions may aid them slightly, despite only receiving a 70-point defeat only a few weeks ago, round 16 of the Men's Premier League season. But a good start nonetheless from the Buffs.
Holt Fitz would love that as well. A goal against his former club. And when he's on, he's on. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come for the boys in blue. Now paddled down, Bolsh off the wing. Can't take it. Eldridge, he gets a handball out. Now getting to it is Verodos. Verodos kicks it forward, bounces beyond a few players. Going in hard there. I think it was Matt Watkins again. Now kicked forward inside 50. Stafford with the mark, just muscled his way through. Couldn't take it though. Holt Fitz comes to ground, socks it forward to Campbell. 10 metres out. Didn't have anyone to go to. Was tackled quickly. Good defence there from the Tigers, and they get it out along the ground now. Tough position, but they've got the numbers. And there's a free kick paid. Just sling him after he tackled it against Palmer. He goes short out now to Deary. Deary did a good job on Bolsh last time they played. Perhaps that's why Bolsh is playing a bit further afield. Now with Mitchell, he goes forward. Bounces on the paint of the 50. Into Palmer's arms almost, but then bounced straight out again, and so it's just barreled in there from Eldridge. And this is Nicky, it is. Held. Ping for holding the ball. Oh, barely took possession there. Umpire's seen it otherwise, and as you can see, the fans in the stands there looking a bit bewildered. So too was Nicky. Finds Moo. Moo will go ahead. Further field to Paris. Love watching Paris play, and it's a big long kick in there from full forward. Or too full forward, I should say. Didn't quite hit Butcher there. Hooper at the fall of it, though. He'll snap around the corner. And the Tigers are on the board as well. They trail by 1. Hooper gets there first.
Yeah, good bit of play from the Tigers as well. Working it forward, and it seems like both teams are really using those wet conditions to their advantage, and perhaps that holding the ball call looked to be like the Buffaloes player tried to protect the ball in front of him, although again, you have to look at the rule book on that one. He didn't exactly have direct possession of the ball, pin for holding the ball, and Hooper there on the replay. Nice snap.
Yeah, the small forwards just staying a little bit inside, making sure that when the ball does bounce out to them, they've got an easier angle to work with there. We saw that in the game before with the Women's Premier League qualifying final, and Hooper and Holt Fitz both goals from, while in the middle of play, relatively open angles. Back in the middle now. Mitchell gets another hit out down. Rodos just had a bit of an air swing. Works it forward now. Stafford, in fact, it's Armat Watkins who's moved to half forward today. Gets onto it, kicks it to forward. Good work there from Brown. That'll be a great battle today, Brown on Campbell. Two stalwarts of their clubs. Campbell obviously playing with North Melbourne as well in the AFL. Work it downfield now. Looks like this is Gavin Shepherd-Greenoff. Haven't caught him so far this year, I think, George. Now Armat Watkins, he works it forward. Long, not really directly to anyone at all. How the umpire call it? Just a ball up. Just outside 50 for the Buffs, who really are looking pretty good today.
Yeah, definitely using the conditions to their advantage and keep the intensity up and in and around the ball. They'll definitely carve themselves some breakaway chances. It's just a matter of keeping the Tigers forwards at bay.
So the ball comes in, tap down from Bowen. Snap on goal. Gee, it's a big one, and he likes that. He gave a bit of a double cobra. Great goal to Rodos.
Yeah, Rodos goes bang there. Rate his power kicking the ball, John Rodos, and wet conditions from distance doesn't seem to faze him. Again, it looks, could be wrong, but it does look like Sterling Mitchell's holding his own so far, which is no mean feat for sure, and a great snap there on the replay. Sends it straight through. Distance not a problem.
Yeah, Sterling Mitchell definitely playing well, and I didn't realise how young he was until I saw he got a Rising Star nomination a few weeks back, and he's he's definitely a chance for that award, I'd say, when that's announced in a few weeks' time. But he's become a key part of their side. Atkinson also doing well and contesting that hit out. Philo on the deck at the middle of the ground. Tigers have it at half back, though they're not being clean with it. Wines overruns it. Ball comes in board to Stafford. Stafford paddles it down. There's a lot of Tigers at the for the ball though. They kick it up and high. And got a free kick. 70 out from goal. I think that's Rodos again. Kicks it in to the centre corridor. Falls to ground. Ooh, Tigers potentially in a bit of trouble here. Bolsh picks it up. Wheels round and centres it. Bit too much on it, and it will fall back into the lap there of Huppets, I think it is. Kicked one of the goals of the year a few weeks ago against St Mary's to win the game. Kick out. Didn't hit the target, spills over the boundary line, so we'll have another one in front of the St Mary's club on the other side of the ground here at TIO Stadium.
Yeah, only 4:30 local time, and it looks like the rain has subsided for the moment, but I think both teams need to really be aware that it is a very, very damp pitch out there, and I think the long ball game is not going to win you the match. We'll see how that pans out.
Kick forward there by Morris. Robinson almost giving away a free kick. In fact, he has. Now it comes back to Philo, who's up and about again. Just throws it long on the boot. Coulthard at the fall of that ball. Looks to cross to Clark. Really just pinpointed him there, and he turns around to go down this wing, but there's no one to go to, so he'll have to kick it to the run of Aaron Stokes. Couldn't take the mark and overruns it. Tigers potentially in danger here, but they've both overrun it. Stokes is kicking the middle of the ground, goes back to Philo, so he'll try again. Kicks it forward. Where's Coulthard at the fall of this one? Not quite. Fist gets involved. Mitch Robinson puts himself between his opponent and the ball, picks it up. Now comes back to Coulthard again. He kicks it to centre half forward. Good long kick. Fist involved though. Ninehouse gets a handball out. It comes back to him from Robinson, and he's pinged for an incorrect disposal. So Buffs will load up here, you'd think. Holt Fitz looking to move quickly. Campbell with a short, sharp lead. Goes beyond him, looking for Armat Watkins. Good work there from Deary to get in the way. and have a say in that one. Now comes back to Brown. Oh, uncertain, hesitates. Not a good kick. Comes out to Mitch Robinson. Not where you want to put it. Robinson just puts boot to ball. It slides along the ground. Campbell with a big, strong tackle. Free kick going against. Nightcliff to come down this near side. Will Robinson will have a say in it. Gets a fist in. Robinson was going for it. The umpires have paid it. Politis was going to take it and go. Umpire will bring them back, so Robinson goes short and inbound. They've got players out on that far side. Both of them pointing to the other one, but they'll work it out in the end. Sits in the lap nicely there for Gow. And he'll now go to Butcher at full forward. Butcher sockers it towards goal, but he's given away a free kick. So it'll be Liam Whelan who... Interestingly, in fact, it won't be Liam Whelan, I don't think. It'll be someone else taking the kick there. But Whelan's another one who's interested me this year because he looked like he could be one of the more dominant full forwards along with Darcy Hope and Jackson Calder. A few games I saw him play there. In the last few weeks, he's played at full back. So not sure the mentality there from Stokes. Perhaps he just wasn't hitting the scoreboard as much as he would have liked. There's Pendlebury at the fore of that one. Now Will Robinson. Handballs it over the top to Bowles. Bowles dances through a few. Now gets it out to Charlie Sharples. Good attack on the ball there from his opposing number there. And Caleb Walker. And Sharples, a very handy player for the Buffs. You just know that he's going to do your job. Looks like he's taking on Dan Jackson today. Ball comes in, short one. Robinson gets hands to it. And Robinson is the other half of the ruck duo for Nightcliff today, which is looking pretty daunting for the Buffs, George. Taking over.
Likewise, though, I think Sterling Mitchell and Chris Atkinson are a very good combo.
Yeah, they've been solid. I think their strength would just be that they've played together almost all year, and their midfielders would know exactly where it's going to go and how it's going to get there. Bowen taps it down. Brad Stokes almost tackled without it. Eldridge wraps him up. Take it over the boundary line. Another boundary throw in. Andrew Hooper comes to the bench, switches with Jack Hammond. Hammond to get involved straight away. Ball comes down now. Tackled without it. There was Gow who got a free kick. Plays on, just darts it forward and turns it over. Tom Clark, vice captain of the Buffs this year. Kicks it laterally, finds Will Robinson. He now comes down this wing. Gee, it's a bit of a floater for Stafford, and good work from both Gow and Vile there to get involved, get a fist in the way. Vile definitely has his work cut out for him. Stafford has been pretty ominous in the recent weeks that I've seen the Buffs play as well. Big body, relatively athletic, and can fly to contest as well. I think that ball hit Gow in the face just about. Eldridge, he gets boot to ball, works it forward. Nicky gets it out onto the run now of Rodos. Rodos couldn't take it cleanly, so Eldridge comes back, does the work. Ducked his head, I think, but he'll get paid a free kick. Played that very well. Eldridge now goes to the short, sharp lead again of Campbell. That's almost pinpoint perfect, but it bounced off his chest. Handball over the top from Stafford to Nicky. Had to get boot to ball quickly. Does in the centre corridor. Palmer, he couldn't get it. Nyhouse got a fist in the way there. Good work from the captain. It spills over the boundary line. Tight one. This one still. Buffs holding a 7-point lead. 17 minutes the way through the first quarter.
Yes, I say almost into time on, and really, from Buffalo's standpoint, you'd be very impressed with the work rate and certainly just how tenacious they've been thus far. Early on, of course, and very minimal shots at goal for either side, but you'd like their work rate so far.
Ball goes up, a high one. Bowen couldn't really get his hands on it in the contest, so we get boot to ball at ground level. Palmer involved as well. Bolsh gets boot to ball in the centre corridor again. Oh, good mark there from Hassan Ahmad Watkins in the corridor, and this will be a pretty handy shot on goal for them.
Yeah, needs to certainly put it through, I think. In a game that could be very low scoring, certainly only for 3 goals between both sides so far. So we'll stretch it out to a very handy 12-point lead.
Matt Watkins puts it through, and they're happy with that. Bus skip out to a 13-point lead. Sorry, I think the scoreboard that you've got on your screen is 1 goal in advantage to Buffs. It shouldn't be there. So it should be 1 goal, 6 to Nightcliff, trailing Buffs
13
3-1.
points. My apologies.
Sorry for that. Watching at home, and just a reminder, you're watching AFL NT's coverage of the 2022-23 TIO NTFL season from TIO Stadium. And it's interesting, George, I think you look at the finals composition at the moment, you think it's probably a 4-horse race and Buffs just making up the numbers, but they could cause some damage, and so far that's exactly what they're threatening to do.
Yeah, look, I think earlier on in the season they looked very promising, of course, defeating the Tigers in their first matchup, and I guess over that Christmas period, New Year's, they've kind of fell into some average form, I'd say. Still been very competitive, but could they have possibly saved their best till last?
You'd like to hope so, regardless of how they go down or when they go down, whether it's this week, next week, or not at all again until next season. Philo at half-back goes down the line. Hooper at the fall of the ball. Oh, couldn't take it cleanly. Is that a whistle? No, oh yes, it is. The umpire's called a free kick for a high tackle, and it will be brought back for Nightcliff. Another interchange just in front of us, and it's Caleb Walker coming on again at time for Roger Morris. So Hooper, the former Bulldog, actually made his AFL debut in a final against Sydney. I think it was a semi-final way back in 2009. Hooper goes long down the line. Gee, that's very tight on the boundary. And goes over. So not a bad kick in the end. He's gained some ground as we tick over 20 minutes here in the first quarter. So ball up, or boundary throw in, I should say. Tap down. Campbell a long way from home on the deck. Eldridge also getting involved, very animated as he usually is. Slung around there was Jackson into the forward pocket. He got it. Hooper out there. Hooper, can he get a second in the first? Gee, not a great kick off the boot, but the Tigers are still lively. Almost held without it. I think that was Gow. Gee, very dangerous there, playing soccer when it could be in danger. Sharples, he just takes it, gets it out of there. That's what I like about him, but the kick is turned over. Probably a bit far out for Robinson to score here. Could set it up, though. A lot of numbers back. Umpire tells him to get a move on. Not a bad kick there to the hot spot. Ooh. Gow takes it, gets it back. Hooper with another chance. Campbell wraps him up straight away. Gets a handball out now to Stokes, and Stokes just barrels it. A few Tigers there lurking. They'll get it inboard to Brown. You'd think he has to go quick, so he gets a handball back again. Instead, his teammate just kicks it forward. Pendlebury gets a handball out. Buff's defence holding very fast. And there's a free kick there going the way of the Tigers. It'll be... In fact, I think that might be... Well, Philo's been given it off, and he kicks it forward. That might have been Gavin Shepherd-Greenoff. Tommy Bolsh. The prime train. What's he got in store for us today, George?
Seems like he's playing a very good game so far off half-back. Probably utilising his commentator's curse, I was going to say disposal efficiency, as gives it over there.
Look, he'd be a player that Cam Stokes would want to have a good day today. He's probably one of those players as well who hasn't been in the best form recently, as Philo goes inside 50. Butcher! Can't take the mark. So it's kicked out of there again. The Buffs just doing very well in these wet conditions. Philo will have another go on his left this time, and that's a much better kick. The Buffs fans, the Tigers fans, not particularly animated there, but perhaps they will be if he can convert. It'll be Petros Politis, and back to Tommy Bolsh. He's one of those players who, when he's on, but he hasn't really been in great form, probably since about around 14 or 15. comes Politis. Oh, he's hooked that one. Just the behind. 1-1-7. They trail by 2. Straight kicks. 3-1-19. The Buffs are on. 23 minutes in the first quarter. Pendles will do the kicking out. Goes long. Turned over, marked by Simon Deary. He gives it off straight away there to Jackson. Jackson into full forward. He's got a few to beat. Butcher does. Brown close to goal. Pendlebury just gets it out of there. Mitch Robinson will pick it up, give it back to Bolsh. Bolsh has to go across goal. Needs to hit his target here. He's just gotten it over the tops of the little fella Hooper. Not too hard when he's as small as Hooper is. He kicks it out now. Marked there by Coulthard, I think it is. And there's the quarter time siren. So the Buffs certainly not shuffling over for Nightcliff. They're making their presence felt today. 3-1-19. They've got a 2-goal lead over the Tigers at quarter time. 1-1-7. We'll be back after this short break.
To the left of your radio they go.
Wow, what a goal to start the game.
Picked up by Makar.
Beautiful. Goes for home and has nailed an absolute ripstorter.
From the pocket, and he's kicked an absolute ripper.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Finals time here at TIO Stadium in Darwin, and this men's Premier League encounter. It's an elimination final between the Nightcliff Tigers and the Darwin Buffaloes, and it is the Double Blues at the moment with a 12-point lead. 3-1-19 plays 1-1-7, and so far in this first quarter, if you're a Buffs fan, Will, you're certainly not complaining, are you?
Absolutely not, and I think you hit the nail on the head just off air before, George, where if you're Cameron Stokes, you're pretty happy. You're not really telling them too much. You're just saying, settle down, keep going. Defenders, hold fast because you've been doing a pretty good job. You're being peppered particularly late. But otherwise, it's not looking too bad. It's definitely being played on their terms. Robinson, he works the ball into his favour there, but gives away a free kick, I think, and it'll be Nightcliff out of the middle here. Good lead from Butcher into the pocket there. That's where he'll go. Ball's a bit short though. Maroney takes a good sound mark. He now goes laterally. Looks for Coulthard, who's probably one of the better players there for Buffs in that first quarter. He goes wide to Bolsh. Rain's just starting to fall there as well. We saw a hell of a lot of a downpour earlier in the day. It's been pretty good so far, so you don't imagine the ball would be too wet out there, but the deck certainly is, and probably not as much around the whole ground, but there might be a few patches where the mud splurts up as they go, hey George?
Certainly, and that definitely play a role if this rain continues to pick up.
Nightcliff go deep again. Robinson the target this time, and he takes a good mark coming across the front there of Butcher. Robinson, an underrated player in this outfit, this Tigers outfit. I think he can play pretty handy ruck, and because they've usually had Overall or Butcher up forward, it's meant that Robinson's playing a lot higher up the ground and definitely making his impact felt. Maybe not necessarily the conditions he'd like, but he's making the most of it. That's a good kick, just shy though, and it's another behind for them. 1-2-8. They move to 11 points behind the Buffs. Pendlebury kicking out from fullback. Good long kick, but couldn't find Robinson. And the handball goes over to Clark. Clark gets a handball back to Robinson. He's got his namesake in Mitch inboard and didn't go there. Instead, he went further afield. Now goes over the top. And Nightcliff working it back the other way. Handball over their head. Not too shabby at all, but he's run down. Good tackle. Umpires let it go. Kick forward for the Buffs again. Holt Fitz takes the mark in the middle of the ground, and again you can see that rain just slightly getting a bit heavier. He kicks it out to the run of Clark. He'll have to pick it up off the deck. He's got space. He again goes back. Buffs have just been running a bit better. Bradley Stokes, he goes forward to Nicky, and Nyhouse gets involved, gets a handball back, really just into space. Wines trying to pick it up. And we'll have a ball up at half-back. And, George, you've just been given some of the stats from quarter-time. Anything striking your eye at the moment?
I'm going to have to decipher a lot of it.
Looks like Tommy Bulk has picked up the most disposals for the Buffs, which is a bit of a surprise to me. Meanwhile, Brody Philo's got 9 kicks and he's leading all comers on the ground. So that doesn't surprise me. He's been pretty good early. Philo picking up plenty of it. Here comes Brown out of the back line. Only gets it as far as the Buffs opposition, working it forward. Holt Fitz puts some body pressure on. I think these wet conditions that you can see on your screen now are really going to help the Buffs as they hold on to their 11-point lead. Hooper, he kicks it further afield now. And Gow, he kicks it down the line again. Not all by himself, but Robinson in a pretty good position. And that was Aiden Robinson. Will Robinson putting some body pressure on from the Buffs, and he'll ping him for holding the ball.
Dived onto it, I thought. Good call there.
And interestingly, the hit-outs are in favour of... they are in favour of Nightcliff, sorry. They're leading them 8-4, so that's probably expected. Bolsh, he handballs over the top now to Mitch Robinson. Mitch Robinson has a few to beat, gets it back to Bolsh. Bolsh runs from 50 on his left. It's not a great kick, just a grub along the ground, beats all comers. But kicking it off the ground there, has it gone through? No, just the wrong side of the post there. That would have been something for the Buffs. And Bowen with 6 hit-outs as we go back to that, and Aiden Robinson with 2. Meanwhile, Sterling Mitchell's got 3, and Atkinson just the 1. So it's probably more even than we thought, but Nightcliff still holding the advantage in the ruck stocks there. Kicking out from fullback now will be Nyhouse. Goes long, Good fist in there from Palmer. Free kick, umpire blows his whistle. Going the way of Nightcliff. Moo. Just goes long down the line, finds Philo. That'll be his 10th touch, I think. Big long kick down the line. Oh, that's a falcon. That's a fine for Aidan Robinson. Paddled over the boundary line by Coulthard.
Yeah, certainly with a 12-point lead at the moment, the Buffaloes in these wet conditions certainly are to continue. Might be one of those games where any kind of lead is a lead, and especially if they can kick another one before the Tigers, it would open up a bit of a gap as these torrential rains continue in the top end.
Also, interestingly, in that first quarter, we saw the most clearances came from Tim Eldridge. That's a stat that surprises me. 4 of his 5 touches were clearances. Sharp was told to play on. Here's Eldridge again as we speak of him. He just goes a short one. Gee, that's a dinky little kick to Robinson. Robinson nearly had his head kneed off by his opposition there, and he earned himself a free kick. And the other stat I just saw in front of me, which is just escaped me. I might have to get you to find some, George, to go off. There was another one I was looking at. I think it might have been Philo's inside 50s sitting at 3, which is, again, equal with all. But just that long kicking, I think, is really going to help Nightcliff today. It's probably whether it's helping and assisting the Buffs. And the Tigers want to keep possession, or if not, get it long. And I think possession's going to be hard today. So if Philo can just keep gaining some ground, that'll help them. Pendlebury, he goes inside the forward 50. Wow. Stafford with a beautiful mark going back with the flight. And he will have a shot from about 30 out, you'd say. Yeah,
plucked it out of thin air there. I think there was a couple Tigers defenders on the big man, and they kind of looked at each other as soon as he took that mark, saying whose man was that. But yeah, you mentioned it earlier, a lot of the statistics so far, essentially in that first quarter, was a very tug-of-war kind of game. No real breakout in terms of anything there, as Stafford will look to come in and create some bit of a breathing room for the Buffs if he can put it through. That's
good kick, and they're happy with that, aren't they?
Certainly. Daniel Stafford goes back and kicks truly. Adds the Buffaloes' 4th goal of the afternoon, and 4 individual goal kickers as well. Something that will please Stokes, their coach, as well. But you see there on the replay, good. As I was mentioning, what the Tigers should be doing, the Buffaloes did well. They just took their time. Pendlebury loading back up in that replay there. 2 Tigers marking Stafford, and he does well. And that's a bit of a lead starting to build up for the Double Blues.
Got a handy midfield outfit here as well. Robinson, Pendlebury and Vrodos.
And of course, as eagle-eyed viewers would notice, the captain is not there this afternoon.
No, obviously Stokes out injured, and doesn't seem to be impacting at the moment. That's a good shark away from the middle, but it's well offline and will just bounce over for a boundary throw in. So we'll have a ball up inside 50 for the Tigers, and as we know, it's an elimination final, so there's no tomorrow for the loser. Nightcliff facing a 3-goal deficit. In this weather, that can become very big very quickly. Comes out the back. Coulthard will run onto it, getting boot to ball, or trying to at least. Because I think it might have been Jackson. Bradley Stokes will do the kicking out. So there's still 2 Stokeses out there and one in the coach's box. At least today, potentially even more. George?
Yeah. Both played very well so far. Bradley's certainly doing well.
Ooh, Bolsh couldn't quite take the mark. Run down, great tackle there. Fantastic work. I think that might have been Roger Morris there. In fact, no, it was Jay Moody. Great tackle there from Moody. He'll give it off now to Wines. Umpire will call him back. Just tells him to get back on his line there. Great tackle from Moody. What can he do with the kick? He'll just centre it inside the corridor. Butcher was flying, but he couldn't take the mark. A few fists in the way there. Getting on top of it now is Jackson again. Just wheeling it out. Good tackle from Jackson. He'll follow it up again like a bulldog on a ball.
Yeah, you'll see the replay here on that kick out. Stokes coming short.
Just at the play at hand. We'll have another ball up. In fact, it's a free kick going back to the Buffs in their back line. Stokes again will do the kicking. Palmer will call for it again out this side. We'll go shorter to Whelan. He's got Aaron Stokes by himself as well. Instead he goes short to Eldridge. And there's a few Buffs there, but they're all probably in a bit too close proximity to each other. So he'll have to go long and really just pinpointed the grass in between them all. Robinson doing his best to get involved. Sharples will put a tackle on, bounces off Holt Fitz's hand. Good smother there from Pendlebury. Eldridge running back with it. The handball will come over the top, but we'll go over the boundary line before Bolsh can get to it. And you'd say that the Tigers are lurking here.
Yeah, certainly so. They come into it more halfway through second term. A lot of the footy has been down there forward 50, but just yet to find a goal from it. So we have a ball up.
In front position, Atkinson got the ball down. Comes out now, Robinson putting his body between him and Nyhouse. Holt Fitz has just pinged off his ball and he'll do a dinky little kick up to Rodos. Don't think it paid off. It'll come back in. Here's Paris to the fat side. Oh, Butcher couldn't quite take the mark. Whelan lost his footing and Will Robinson gets it out of there. Now bounces into Eldridge's hands and they've got runners on the outside. He kicks it out there to Moroney. He'll keep going. He'll play on. Goes down the line. Holt Fitz again also in space and he's got Stafford to go onto as well. So too there is Nicky. Holt Fitz held up a little bit, so he'll kick along the ground to Campbell. Campbell tried to work his magic, but Brown ultimately came off better. Gets a handball back there. Brown was dacked a bit there, I think. Might have to get the pixelations up for that on the replay. Now comes out and goes over the boundary line, about 70 out from goal for the Buffs.
Be a little disappointed with that passage of play. Holt Fitz certainly had the ascendancy to go on, but it's play like that you see the Buffaloes just coming out of defence with a lot of space and it could really hit the Tigers on the counter attack.
Robinson in the ruck again. And that was a lot slicker than we've really seen almost all year from the Buffs, just taking it in these conditions as well from full back to full forward. But maybe now it's Nightcliff's turn, though the boundary line will beat them.
I think I was talking about this game earlier today and just thinking that with these wet conditions at TIO, that the Buffaloes just might be coming out to play. I know it was fairly wet out at Nightcliff Mazda Oval a couple of weeks ago and the Tigers had the better hand there, but Buffs certainly playing well so far.
Good work there from Moody again. Great rundown tackle before. Bounces into Whelan's arms. Just kicked into a Nightcliff player. So here comes Hooper. Goes to an open goal square. Will it bounce through? No, it won't, but it sits pretty well. Gee, he's had an air swing, Jack Hammond has. Should have gobbled that up and put it through for the Tigers second, but he couldn't do it, and we'll just have a ball up, or a boundary throw-in, I should say, in their forward pocket. Bucksy would not be happy with that, would he, George?
No, I certainly can blame the conditions on that one. I think a dry pitch, certainly ball would have held up for him much easier, but
you got to go and take those.
Yeah, it's final footy.
Take the bull by the horn.
Absolutely.
Atkinson gets a handball out over the top. Didn't quite go the distance, so got a fist in there as well. Coulthard kicks along the ground, but takes it over the boundary line. And
I think this passage of play will be very telling whether the Buffs can ride this pressure, this forward 50 assault, and go back the other end without conceding. It would certainly show, I guess, certainly the rest of the teams watching, that they can defend a lot better than they have recently.
Taken out of there straight away by Bowen, I think it was. Almost tackled without it there. Nightcliff play. Robinson again. He's done that a few times today. Oh, Matt Watkins had to go back with a fight. Nyhouse, safe hands, lurking behind the pack. Unsure where to go. Kicks it to Hooper. Two former AFL players again combined. There's a few out there today, George. Goes over the top to Moo. I think Moo thought he had to go and the umpires said he did. So he just kicked into the pocket and bounced over the boundary line. Not the worst result for them, but again, we're 14 minutes through this one, and if Tigers can't really add a dent to the scoreboard, they might go into half time with a bit of weight on their shoulders.
Yeah, just the Buffaloes hitting goal by Stafford this quarter, as And again,
Gow tried to get it forward. Clark was in the way though. Now Robinson of the Aiden variety gets it. There's Shepherd Green off. He works it forward but gets smothered and spoilt. Bowen, he takes a mark. The big fella sitting a kick behind play. He's got a few. That's a good kick for a big fella to Politis. Too far out. Not sure where he wants to go. Play on, try and improve the angle. Not sure if that's a great kick at all. He spotted out Bulk and Palmer. And they'll work together now with Bulk. He tried to go back to Robinson. Handball was a right. Then to Coulthard. Now out again to Palmer. Will hit him on the half volley. He gets it back to Bolsh. Bolsh will try to give it over the top. You'd think he does. And Palmer will go for a run. He'll get it to Vrodos. Vrodos. They're doing it the hard way, Buffs, but they're doing it. He gets it long down the line. Stafford running back. So too Armat Watkins. He'll run onto it, pick it up very cleanly in these conditions. Gets a handball out, hit the deck. Not sure if that was the best way to play that one. You've got to be creative in the wet, and so the Tigers are on the rebound going very quick. Here's Philo now, been quiet the last few minutes. He'll cross laterally now to Moo. Moo's got a runner. I think it's Brown. He'll go out to him, or is it Paris? It's Paris. Paris will take it and go. He goes long to the lead of Robinson. Oh, just spills over the back, and good defensive pressure from the undersized Will Robinson.
had to be very careful there, the Buffaloes. Robinson just got any too handsy on with the Nightcliff Robinson, perhaps would have given away a free kick in a dangerous position.
There's 3 Robinsons out there today. It's not easy, is it, George?
No.
2 of them lining up on each other. Now comes out to Moody. Moody gets a handball back to Gow, but it's intercepted by Bradley Stokes and just thrown on the boot by Coulthard, and that'll be out on the full. But to their credit, the Buffs have been up against it. They've been peppered this quarter, and they've held really, really tight. Moroney, Pendlebury and Whelan all doing their job. So too Robinson. Now comes out. Coulthard's also been pretty good. Boot to ball on the ground was Robinson, but it didn't work. So Will Robinson will pick it up, and it goes over the boundary line again. Tigers are pleading for it on the full, and they're saying deliberate. I don't know if there was any lack of pressure there at all. That was very close to the goals and very close to play. But that's the way the umpires called it. So it'll be Hooper kicking from a very tight angle. What do you do here, George? As a soccer boy, do you go the check side or the banana, or?
I'm not sure how his left is. I think he's going to favour it as well.
Looks like he will. Oh, and he hits the post.
My soccer background, that is a goal. Post and in, good enough, but obviously with the footy, that is not good enough. Just a single behind for the Tigers.
I think the Buffs would argue it was one more point than it deserved. They come back into play now. That's cleared the pack, and that'll be a free kick to Nightcliff, will it? Or did they get a hand to it? I think they got a touch to it. So it'll just be a ball up. Just look at the size difference there between Mitchell and Bowen. It's massive. And Bowen gets it down to Philo. Philo had to go through his ruckman's knees there. Gets a handball out now. I think that's... Is it Wines? It is. He's wrapped up in a big, strong tackle there from Bowles. How will the umpire call it? Wrap it up. We'll have a ball up.
Strong tackle too by Bowles. So he didn't let his man go for a run. Next clearance is important.
Comes down. Philo gets a handball away to Sharple. Sharple sharks it forward. Good mark there. No, it wasn't taken. And so Wines, he gets it out to Morris. Morris to Nyhouse. Nyhouse goes further afield to Politis. Down the line he goes. Ooh, Robinson with a good leap. Coulthard at the back again. Coulthard playing very well today. One of the better games I've seen him play over the last few years. He goes inboard again to Robinson. Robinson goes down the line in hope, but it was an awkward kick, and it's just landed in the lap of Nathan Brown. Kick short and sharp, finds a teammate. He now goes to the top of the 50. That's a good kick. Good lead and a good mark there from Gow. So now Tigers with another real opportunity. They need to keep going because they haven't scored a goal this quarter, despite having a lot of the play. Oh, again, pinpoint finds Jay Moody on the lead.
He's made to work for that mark, but he certainly pulls it off. It's just a matter of accuracy here. I've seen enough of him in this Premier League season just to see which kind of foot he favours. It's certainly a bit more difficult if he's a right footer in this particular angle.
I think he just might be, George. I think he just might be.
Certainly a much needed goal for the Tigers, just to one so far this afternoon as we tick into time on this second quarter.
Oh, the check side, has it gone through? No, just across the face. Still alive though, but it's gone through. The Tigers get one through Petros Politis in the goal square. Buffs caught napping and Tigers reduce the margin. It's 2-4-16, 10 points there behind the Buffs on 4-2-26.
Yeah, clever goal there, almost out of a, not quite a ruck contest, but the ball came up and then down, and Politis was the quickest to react to that one. And we'll certainly enjoy that one. As
good kick there. First found Gow. See if we can try and get a replay of that goal. We won't this time. But Nightcliff really needed that. I think, as we said, if they'd gone into half-time without adding a goal this term, it really would have just added a bit more pressure to them. And 10 points isn't too bad, but you sort of start to get to that 3-goal margin in this sort of weather. It can really have an impact on the team's mentality. But breaking away from the middle of the Buffs again, Stafford, he's hit the deck. Holt Fitz is lurking there. He hits the deck too, but managed to keep something about him. Now Mitchell, he wraps up his opponent in the tackle. Campbell too. Buffs working tirelessly, but now getting through is Edwards. He gets a handball over the top and out of there. Good tackle there from Bolsh. Palmer, in fact, it was Nicky almost in the back, so Bolsh gives to Pendlebury. Pendlebury gets around one. What can he do? Pendlebury goes towards goal. It's across the face, but it'll land in Holt Fitz's lap. He's on a tight angle. He's already kicked the opening goal today, just the one, but against his former club. And I think he had a pretty good day out against them early in the year as well against the Tigers here at TIO Stadium.
Tell you what, these are goals that you certainly rehearse in your head over and over again. I know the conditions won't play any favours, and a number of Tigers ready to smother this, but Fitz certainly looking for a...
Ooh, it's a high floater.
Not quite score, just out of play, boundary throwing.
Yep.
A late reply would certainly not be the thing the Tigers are looking for, but goal before half-time, exactly what the Buffs are looking for.
Ball comes down now. Tigers looking to get it out of there, and they do, out of their defensive 50 at least anyway. Oh! Going for a bit of a fly there was Moody. Somewhat unrealistic in the end. Coulthard takes a mark, and there's a siren. It beats the Buffs, so we'll go into half-time with just 10 points between them in the elimination final. It's Nightcliff 2-4-16, trailing Buffaloes 4-2-26. Our goal scorers, and then I'll grab some best players from you, George, but our goal scorers in that quarter were Petros Politis, and for the Buffs it was Daniel Stafford. In the first quarter, Andrew Hooper for the Tigers, and singles to Holt Fitz, Vrodos and Matt Watkins. Yeah, who did you see as the most influential on the ground there, George?
Yeah, to be honest, just because how much is standing up, I really like Tanner Coulthard this afternoon. Him and Sterling Mitchell for the Buffaloes have really stood out well as Timothy Eldridge. I think he had a good first quarter, quieted off a little bit in that second, but certainly serviceable so far. Buffaloes as a unit, I think, have been very impressive, but how would you have seen it on the Tigerland side?
Yeah, I think starting with the Buffaloes, their back six have been awesome.
Yep.
In particular, those few that you mentioned, I think Coulthard and Will Robinson are probably the picks of them at this stage. Meanwhile, for the Tigers, I've really enjoyed the game of Aiden Robinson. He's a big fella, so these conditions don't suit him, but he's doing a pretty good job. And I've also liked the work of Nathan Brown. Seems like he's been sort of up and down the ground, just doing his role. I think he's a former captain of the club, so yeah, obviously very important part of them and their hopes for the rest of the game, and hopefully for their sake going forward.
Yeah, and so we'll have a bit of a break here at TIO Stadium. Finals footy, don't go away.
Well, trying to work, it was Maney. probably in pole position there, but couldn't take the mark, but it's worked itself to centre half forward. Snapping round is Dunstan for the first of the day, and he gets it straight through the big sticks, and the big fella's got a snag. Robinson on Dunstan in the ruck, now goes over the top. Schwartz, he'll roll around and snap on goal. Very happy with that one. He goes through. Districts extend their lead again. And rolling around. Surprised us with 4 disposals and third on all comers for the Buffs in that first quarter, but he's definitely live in this one. Now comes to Stokes. Stokes snaps it through the big sticks. What a goal that was. And Buffaloes hit back after that little scuffle. They're here to play. For Vretto. Vretto will turn and go. He goes to Robinson at half forward. In fact, it'll bounce into Stokes' lap. He just drew the defender, got it off to Robinson. Robinson handballs it further afield again. Now Armat Watkins over the top to Stafford in the goal square. Easy as you like. And the Buffs hit the lead.
Puts it out in front of his teammate there. Armat Watkins. Armat Watkins has got Clark running for him forward, hits him lace out. Clark runs to 30 metres, and again, magnificent transition by the Buffs. Clark, the vice-captain, likes it. Right boot, drills one forward, almost taken there by Sharples. Ball comes over the back to Stokes. Stokes on his right boot as he brought it round enough. He likes it, goal umpire likes it, and right before half-time, Buffaloes clear out to a 6-point lead.
Smith first to it. He just throws on the boot. Not a bad kick. Whelan flying through, gets it out now. Ellis Yeoman snaps on goal. What a ripper that was. Straight out of the middle. Cam Ellis Yeoman extends it back out to 9 points.
Stark. Dennis versus Atkinson. Smith's going to come to Smith. Beautiful knock on there to McQueen. Back to Smith. Back there to his Southern Districts player. That may be Mentha. That is a magnificent chain of play there. Who was that, Will?
That's Ethan Maney.
That's Ethan Maney.
Corridor. Dennis was the target. Fist came down there from Atkinson. Fijo dancing through. Gets on to Barry. Barry snaps towards goals. Gone through. He has. So it's party time here for Districts. Another goal on the ball.
Drills one in. It bounces back there like volleyball to Staunton. He again drives it in. And the big ruckman, he's gone forward after that contest. Perhaps a better strategy for him, or perhaps he's that good, you don't know what to do. But Matty Dennis from 30, right on the siren. Goal umpire does not move.
Too far out to score. Waratah now in attack, over the back, running off and into an open goal. And that's the first one of the game, and that was Brodie Carroll. He's terrific there, but by that time once again Stubbs Talbot, been impressed with him, but Waratah pinched the ball, go forward and missed to the right. No, they got the goal, the opening goal.
Edward Morris got that one.
Wills kicks forward, goes there in the direction of Langton, kicks around his body and a goal. Guthrie, and Guthrie will get a free kick. No, it's the advantage is paid. Forward they go. Can't take the mark. Langton kicks around his body, and I reckon he snapped it. I reckon he's got it.
Yep, that's his second.
And back there has been fantastic player Kobe Priest for Palmerston Magpies. The Magpies will, Watty has it. Kicks on goal. Marcus Watty, I reckon he's kicked it. He's kicked the impossible goal.
Yeah,
from the right forward pocket, the right footer. Still working out, looking for the free kick. Nothing on it. Good umpiring. Kirby once again gets it forward. 1 grab, 2 grabs, and on the 3rd grab, he's been good, this McGreary. 50 there, so he's just crossing the paint of 50 now, so it's got to be a 45-metre kick. Right of centre, left of centre, the right footer, kicks on goal, and they like it down there. They like it for a reason, because it is a 6-pointer. McGreary, his first for the game. Where's Magro? There's the man himself. Magro to kick on goal. Can kick these. Can kick these, and he's got that one. He's got that one. Everything they can to keep that ball in the forward line. Picked up Croker. Croker gets it. Here he is. Doesn't mind being locked up hard in the left forward pocket. Runs straight at the goals. Kicks on goal, and he's nailed it.
Oh, as you can see.
He has nailed it. That's his 3rd for the term.
It's 5 for the match.
1 more to square it up. 2 more to win the goal kicking. Footy had to handball it away. Gets the back inside. Goes to Bowd. Bowd will kick. They'll kick another goal here.
Yep.
Not Magro this time. Brodie Carroll gets his 2nd.
From here.
Yeah, well, he's right on 50. Now he's gone short.
Oh, and he's picked out Dunn. Is that? Oh, that's Rioli that's come down. With the breeze coming the way it is here at Gardens Oval. He sits it up, and he followed the instructions to a T. So Braden Rioli gets the Bombers on the board first. Hooker. Oh, probably a little bit too lackadaisical as Huppets gets it, goes at goal, guides it through for a 6-pointer.
Yeah, it may be hot up here in Darwin, but Huppets is hot himself. A beautiful goal from an angle.
Off it, gets dragged, trying to get it away. Trigwell with the diver there, gives it over to Philo. Philo then picks out a teammate, and that's Rinaldi, who straight away points at goals. He's going to kick from 45 metres out. 45-degree angle. It's a beautiful looking kick. Guide that through. Leaders who spills it once, has time to regather and get on that right. He sets it up into the square where Robinson is. Punched away from him. Moo at the front. Moo with it over the shoulder. All clear. Was there. High tackle. Advantage is paid. Not a great kick. Well, this could be danger, though. Stepping around is Cantilla. Right foot snap at goal. He's going to bounce that through. To Wiley. Handball again. And he's going to get done for holding the ball. Advantage play.
Yep.
Yeah, winds onto Philo. Up to Bowen. Austral. Bowen just, in the end, 2 grabs. Takes it easily. Gives it off to his teammate, who just guides it through. Tipalora on the lead. Tipalora just plays on quickly from 60 out. He just sends it into the full forward, looking for Adam Tippenwoody. Showed a turn of pace just then. Adam Tippenwoody just sets it up at goal. Gee, it looks pretty good from here, mate. All clear from the goal umpire as well. You know what I mean?
Yes. Rain or shine.
That's right.
Here's a mark, you'd think.
Oh,
yes.
And it's Moody.
Once again, he's got out on his own. He's going to go for the hook
around the corner and seals it. One of the secondary tackles was high. Politis just kicks it long. Moo. Ryan Moo, the Roo.
Roo boy. Well, let's start calling him Roo boy.
Over to Huppets. Uppers to Rinaldi. Rinaldi over the top to that man, Jay Moody.
His third goal this quarter, Jay.
He's also good. Back in the middle. Punched away. Here comes O'Connell. Long, driving, kick out of the square. The Eagles have got 2 on the board in a minute. They both really... It's one out though by Grenfell. Yaron can't get clean hands on it. Paredes. Simpson eventually gets it and then puts it on the boot and sends it 60 metres deep. Off hands. Trying to come out. Here they go again. It's a right foot snap at goal. Is that number 3? Yes, it is, and it's Tyson White. Grenfell just swivels around looking for Calder. Calder takes 2 bites at it and marks it. 10 points, St Mary's. 3 points as Jackson Calder comes in. Will he get his 45th goal for the season? Yes, he does. Musgrove on to Hillier. Hillier on to Cruiserberger and Yaron on to Calder. It's going to be loose again. Can Yaron repeat what he just did? Quick hands, not 10, not 15. Running around there onto his right boot to clear it out was Fowler. The strong tackle, Jellyman Turner tries to keep it in. The ball was clearly out of bounds then. Let go, play on is the call. Sock it off the ground, all clear to Nate Paredes.
Yes, use all of his soccer skills then too.
And it's landed in the hands of Nate Paredes, who just goes over the top, picks out Yaron as easy as you like. Yaron, it was touched off the boot. Doesn't matter to him. He took a step, put it through. Puts it out in front of his teammate in Cook. Cook dealt with after disposal, let go. Calder cleans it up to Lant. Lant fumbles, then puts it on the boot. Right foot snap at goal, puts it through.
The goal of the match, no doubt.
Coombe back to Hillier. In that centre square. The lead is Paredes, who takes a great chest mark.
He's really turned it on in this quarter, hasn't he, Nate Paredes?
He has. Skipper leading from the front. Paredes just takes off. Has a bounce. Gets inside 50. Loads it up. And it's put it through. With the boot. It's going to be picked up by Hillier. Borks goes. Steps once, steps twice.
Candy seller.
It was Fowler. Fowler just kicks a great goal.
Yes, sold Candy on the corner there of TIO Stadium twice.
Jellyman Turner's finding Yaron. Bit of pace there. He can beat 2. Now this is a problem. Jellyman Turner can just go running into an open goal and does so.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Moments away from the third quarter here, 2022-23 TIO NTFL finals game. Men's Premier League between the Nightcliff Tigers and the Darwin Buffaloes. 2-4-16 the Tigers, trailing the Buffaloes 4 goals to 26. And so we're just about to get underway. Just a bit of a touch point brought up to us in the break. Goal umpire on your far left, Stuart Whitaker, bringing up game number 200, which is a impressive milestone. And a little bit further in front of him, Jared Collins recently did game 250 of Premier League, and a couple more young and up and coming umpires out there as well. Callum Lonely, one of Canberra's up and coming umpires, and Tim Bitterscombe as well, recently listed in the Waffle. As we are back to get back underway, what are a couple of key statistic or standpoints so far, Will, after 2 quarters of footy?
Well, leading all comers on 15 touches each is Brody Philo and Tom Bolsh, 1 each for the Tigers and the Buffs. Big Jackson Dolan in the ruck with 8 hit-outs, equaling Buffs' total. They've got 15 to 8, and the other 7 are coming from Aidan Robinson with 5, who's also leading all comers with 4 marks, along with I think it was with Ryan Nyhouse. With Brody Philo, and 2 hit-outs to John Butcher, who's also having a hand in it at the moment. But back to the middle, and Atkinson just takes it out for Buffs. Another hit-out to his name, kicks it forward. Mark could be taken by Armat Watkins. Picked up at half-back there by Deary, and then Bailey Edwards run down by Atkinson, but Edwards will pick it up again. No, he won't. Drops it, gets boot to ball, and it's a free kick going the way of Liam Holt-Fitz. Gets it off to Robinson quickly. We know he can launch it. That's no exception to full forward. Campbell lurking. Goes over the top, spills forward. Armat Watkins got it back to Campbell, and it's just a high one back into play. Nyhouse will offer a shepherd, and the Tigers are away here through Wines. They get it down the line now. Pendlebury there to intercept Hammond, but Hammond kept his feet now with Kev Moroney. Moroney goes inboard now. He finds his man in Verodos. Sorry, not Verodos, in Bowles. Bowles goes to Palmer, spills through. Nicky just taps it to his own advantage, then got it back out. Almost went backwards to get to Mitchell. Mitchell has a shot on goal, but it's wide. Another behind. In fact, it's not even registering for a score. So out on the full, and Buffaloes started where they started this game, on the front foot, and they're 10 points up. Ball comes in. Edwards takes the mark. He's been one of their better players since Christmas, Bailey Edwards, and I think he might have even finished on the podium in their best and fairest last weekend. Obviously, Captain Ryan Nyhouse took that out, and very well deserved. He's had a fantastic year. Big Ryan. Tackle on the wing. We'll have a ball up there. In that quarter, Bailey Edwards, as we were just touching on, had most touches for the game with 8, just ahead of Tom Bolsh, who had 7. So Bolsh making his presence felt a little bit more that quarter, both on the field and on the stats from my perspective. I think that was Lockie Huppets, who was just slung out of the back there. Umpire hasn't really paid too much attention to it. So we'll have a ball up on centre wing. Comes out now, working forward is Edwards, just overruns it though. Moo gets a handball out, then socket forward there. Mark taken by Moroney in the back line. Moroney's been good today as well to go alongside Coulthard and Robinson, who we see as the best defenders, George. Yeah, no, certainly. I think the Buffaloes have really, as you mentioned in that halftime analysis, they've stood up the back 6 and keeping the Tigers at bay as Nightcliff will look to come back the other way. Ryan Moo taking the mark there. Philo, change of the boots, goes forward. He has. Has he changed back to the blue ones, has he? Clear white, I think. Number 23, Philo. Oh, yep, I'm getting confused with Hooper, who's got the blue ones on. Big kick coming up. That's Jay Moody. Be a perfect start to the quarter for the Tigers. 3.5 gone. Moody not necessarily the most influential player today, just the 7 touches, but he had a fantastic run-down tackle, and I think he's just a tough nugget sort of player, definitely making his presence felt for his 1%ers. Comes in now, kicks it. He's very happy with that. The double cobra goes straight up as well. Tigers get around him and they reduce the margin to 4, and suddenly it's looking like a much closer game with the Tigers getting on the scoreboard early, just under 4 minutes.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, of the game, I think the last 2 goals after Stafford opened early in the second quarter, and Politis finishing off the goal scoring for the Tigers, and first one of the third as well. So perhaps some momentum brewing for the Yellow and Black Army. Certainly get the next one and they'll hit the front. So although the Buffs have been honest so far, they've not really done the damage on the scoring.
Bowen gets a hit out down now. Kicked forward there. I think that was Bowles again. Stafford kept behind, almost ran down his teammate. His opposition, but it got out to Paris, who's kept running. He's gotten to move. Doesn't really know where to go, just goes long down the line. Robinson was the target there, but it's gone beyond him. Stokes will pick it up. He's wrapped up in a tackle and gotten a free kick. I think held without it. Now he comes to Will Robinson. Almost, in fact, I don't think it was paid the 15 metres. It was a very short stab. Now goes to Armat Watkins. He couldn't take the mark, but I think he's earned himself a free kick. Has he? No, it's just play on Robinson. A high one off the left boot. Palmer at the fall of it. He couldn't take the mark. Stafford also there. Comes out the back. Paris just gets boot to ball again. Bowles has got 3 to beat. Moo ran through with courage and he got it up, and now the Tigers are away. Coming through is Politis. He kicked a great goal in that quarter. Comes down now though, inside 50 and not really in an advantageous position for the Tigers. Maroney will have to run onto it. Boundary line beats him.
Yeah, I tell you what, you mentioned it earlier in the call. I really like Whelan as well back there for the Buffaloes, doing really well. You mentioned a conventional forward as we've seen him play earlier in the year, and said last couple down back, and certainly doing a good job stemming the flow.
Bowen gets a hit out down. Handball gets out to Pendlebury, now out to Robinson, further abreast to Coulthard. Bounces over the top. Tigers there to mop it up through Wines. Wines hits his target there in Bailey Edwards. Edwards now goes to full forward. Butcher does very well. He'll run into an open goal out the back and kicks a goal. Tigers have 2 on the board and they hit the front. 4-4-28 above the Buffs 4-2-26, and they're just seeming to click nicely in this third quarter here, George.
Yeah, we mentioned it at half-time that I had this sneaky suspicion that perhaps the Tigers are about to kick it up another gear, and they've certainly done well in the open play and also contested possession so far to start this third quarter. And
just take a look at this bodywork here from Butcher. Just, it's kind of that hands in the back rule where as long as he probably just towed it perfectly. As long as you don't push, you can hold your position, which he's done there. You just can't push. Ball sat in his lap as he's ducked back, and then he's just been able to run onto it and kick a goal as easy as you like. And probably, you know, they needed a goal like that as well, I think. Obviously, Hooper, his goal in that first quarter was just a snap from a turnover. Politis got one in from the boundary, not from the boundary line, from the goal line there. They probably wanted a solid goal like that from Butcher, so puts him in front as well, which they'll be very happy with. Robinson, he gets a kick away now. Maroney will dive on it, did very well there, and then just snuck it forward. Tigers, though, again, they just seem to be building. Oh, gee, that's a big attack on it from Sharples, and he's earned himself a free kick. Great work there. Again, just a really solid player. You can rely on him to play his role there, potentially playing a bit of a defensive midfielder, rolling off half back. Kick not great though, and the Tigers will work it out of their back line now. Kick goes further afield, now with Wines. Jackson, he kicks it up and over his teammate. And I think that's gone out on the full. So Buffs will reload. Not a great kick from Jackson there, particularly at half back, and in a game like this where it's probably not going to be very high scoring. You only really see 1 or 2 goals a quarter from each side. Here comes Palmer. He gets it off to Campbell. Oh, if he'd taken that on the full, they would have been away, but he's taken on the half volley, wrapped up instantly in a tackle. And so the umpire will call for it.
Stoppage play here. We'll see if the Buffaloes can work something out. Hit back.
Taken out there now again by Jackson. G. Robinson has done very well to disguise that. I reckon it went 12 metres and he's just jogged back with it a few, and he's now trying to tell the man to stand a bit further on the mark where he first took it. Very cheeky, Mitch. This is not beyond him. He's kicked some pretty good goals this year.
I was going to say, yeah, not just this year, but in his professional career as well. Of course, across Carlton Blues and the Brisbane Lions.
I reckon he likes the pressure too. They need this one. It'll put him in front. He plays on. Robinson opens up the angle, kicks towards goal. Oh, so close. It's just shaved the post, reduces the margin to a point. So the skip from fullback. Nyhouse goes short. Finds Wines. Now with Huppets. Gee, Huppets' kick not great. Buffs on the offence, and again comes back. Nightcliff need to work. Comes to Pendlebury. What can Pendlebury do? Oh, a high one. Not sure about that. Will make Robinson work for it. Used his body well. Hits the deck though. Ball still alive. Kicked out of there by Paris. Maroney. Oh, he was almost slipped over and hit the deck as he's tripped in the wet. Gee, that's a great kick, breaking the lines there, and the Tigers are away easy as you like. Whelan, not sure about that. He's just tried to soccer it off the ground. It's come to Butcher, the big fella. Gets around him at 50. Kicks now to his teammate at full forward. Goes over his hands though, and he's got 2 to beat. Aaron Stokes just didn't attack the ball. Meanwhile, the Tiger did. Can't quite see who it is there, sorry. We've got our frosting on the window in front of us. But now, all of a sudden, it's the Tigers who are looming large. As we hit the 11.5-minute mark of this quarter. I think that might have been Jack Hammond down there.
I think it was smart too, Stokes. You thought he was going to go in for the soccer there, and obviously Hammond heading down low might have given away the free kick as he continues.
Gets it out. Moody for his second in the quarter. Check sides it through, and he's up and about. Tigers in front by 7.
Yeah, an important goal there for the Tigers. They've been certainly held at bay for the majority of this game in terms of the scoring, as it's starting to open up now. I think they've kicked the last 3 of this game, as now they take that 7-point lead as we just over halfway through this third term.
Good work there from Moody. Looks like a bit of one of those defensive forwards. Doesn't really hit the scoreboard a lot. Just makes his presence felt with big tackles, and he certainly had a few of them today, but 2 goals. He leads all comers, the first multiple goal scorer today, and 2 really important goals too. They've kicked 3 for the quarter, and heading into half-time we were thinking if they managed to add another goal to their tally, it'd be a good effort, but they're looking pretty good now. 7 points up they are. Buffs looking to respond pretty quickly with a very good clearance into their forward line. Beats all comers. Rolls around though, and I think that's Morris who's kicked it out there. Now handed back. Palmer's getting involved, so too Nicky. A few Tigers pleading for it. Umpire will call for a ball up. Don't think there was much more in that. Robinson paddles it down. Holt Fitz running through. He couldn't take it, and it's just belted out of there by Philo, as he does so often. Oh, ducking his head there was Hammond. And they've been pinged for holding the ball, and a 50. Oh, no. It's a free kick going the Tigers' way. I thought he might have given away a 50 there. Goes over the head of Moody and over the boundary line. Moody in a bit of a purple patch at the moment.
Yeah, certainly rising to it. One of those players that not often you find him on the multiple goal scoring charts, but take them any way they come so far, the Tigers. And
ball up on centre wing. Bolsh try to paddle it to advantage. Robinson at the fall of it. He'll just get it out of there. Eldridge should be able to run onto it, but Moo gets to it first. Running back in traffic, he has to kick it out to the wing, and now it's a foot race from two different angles. On one side, you've got Edwards, he'll get to it first, but now he's got to get around Mitchell. He does enough. Kicks it to Butcher. Bounces off his hands. They're crumbing it perfectly with Gowies. Oh, what a tackle that was there from Tanner Coulthard. Still the best on player on the ground. He's absolutely taken Gow to town. Coulthard playing the game of his life out there today. As we know, there's no tomorrow. Bang, what a tackle that was. Philo throws on the boot inside 50. Pendlebury in best position, taps it forward. They get it down again. Now through Jackson. Kicks it into an opposition player. Eldridge run down with it. They've pinged him for holding the ball. And it'll be Daniel Jackson having a shot. Not sure if he's got the distance in him here, particularly after 2.5 quarters of wet footy. That ball would be heavy enough.
Will be an important goal, that's for sure. Open up Tigers a gap of their own if it goes through.
Oh, not a good kick at all. I think it's out on the foot. Hasn't even made the distance, but he's hit up a teammate. And lazy defending there. They've been so good all day. And that's a big fella, John Butcher, as well. Obviously, former Port Adelaide player. Can't really be giving him a shot from anywhere. He's just trying to say that Tommy Bulk's a bit too close in. I reckon he'll go the check side here by the look of his ball. He plays on. Goes through, and he's gotten it. Tigers are on a roll. They're fourth of the quarter, and they move out to a 13-point lead. 6-4-40, leading the Buffs on 4-3-27, which is second for the quarter.
Yeah, you like that almost instantly, poking it through there, favouring his stronger right foot there. Can really back the left, and why would you when you can wheel around and kick them like that? Now it seems the Tigers are flexing a bit of their own muscle. Buffaloes need to respond as we tick in late into this third quarter.
Good strong tackle there. And it was an awful kick. I'm not sure if we'll see the kick. Awful kick to the pocket. And Whelan's been pretty good today, but just that last one there, he just let Butcher get the better of him. Here's Robinson out of the middle now. Kicks it to centre half forward. Stafford should take it easy. He can't. Palmer picks it up. He rolls through, gets a handball to Mitchell. Mitchell wrapped up instantly in a tackle. Ball pops out. Buffs needs to hit the scoreboard this quarter, or it'll get away from them easy. And the ball's gone through Bolsh's hands. Now running through is Roger Morris. Morris loses the ball, so Bolsh will turn around and go. He goes forward. Oh, good work there from the defender to get involved. I think it was my man again, John O'Paris.
Just in that previous play too there, it looked like Bolsh was going to be run down there, and he worked hard to get that ball back. Didn't quite come off into the forward 50, but they've got a stoppage here. Buffaloes tip it into their 50 and makeshift an opportunity out of this. Boundary throw in.
Ball comes down. Vrodos works it forward. Gee, that's a good metre gaining kick, and you'd think they've disguised that enough for it to be a boundary throw, and it will be.
This could be the opportunity that they've been wanting.
Buffs need a spark here. Who do you reckon it comes from, George?
Oh, I've got to see where Holt Fitz is. He's always my man. Matty Campbell, I think, has been quiet too. Could he be the spark as well?
Holt Fitz is lurking. Holt Fitz is just there, or just left of centre of your screen. Goes over the back. Campbell is at the back of the pack. It's gone beyond him. Here's Tommy Bolsh. The prime train kicks towards goal. Bounces over the top. Kind bounce. It's gone through just a point. Oh, that would have brought the house down.
Must have been touch on its way through there. It looked...
I think it's just bounced the wrong side of the post
side.
there. Yeah, very tight. Let's have a quick look there. So Tommy Bolsh has just kicked it. It's bounced. And yeah, it was touched on the way through. Back to play. Ball goes through Bowen's fingers. Philo gets a handball, a look-away handball to Gow. Gow just throws it on the boot, as Philo's done so often. The master and the apprentice, he kicks it forward. Comes in to Moody. Moody gets it over the top to Robinson. Robinson approaches 50. Goes in ball to Butcher all by himself. Great work there, but there's a free kick being paid downfield. And I think it's going to go to Butcher. Must have been hit late. But that was a great defensive effort there from Whelan. It came from nowhere. Butcher was almost just taking it for granted the way he was standing there. He's come through, gotten a fist in the way, and Butcher must have seen what was happening downfield and just let it all progress, because usually, as we saw in that last play, he's right onto it.
Up here for his third. Second in a matter of minutes. Would be a dagger.
Well, not a good kick there either, but he might return the favour. Oh, Hooper went for a bit of a Superman leap there. He's still going out to Fred's pass, I think. There's Coulthard. He gets a short one out to Pendlebury. Told to move, and in fact it's a 50-metre penalty. He wasn't told to move. His opposition was told to get back off his line.
As we tick into time one here, the next goal will be really important. Of course, if you're a Buffaloes fan, you're hoping it's going your way.
Aaron Stokes has just snuck on. They'll get it to Campbell. Campbell just goes straight down. Oh, good mark back with the flight there from Nicky. Stokes again trying to get dangerous, and I reckon that one hasn't paid off, so he'll probably shoot back down to the back line in case of a turnover. Robinson will try and get this one here, make no mistake. Hammond onto him. Nicky needs this, so too do the Buffs. Against his old club. It's a good kick, but it'll fall short. Bolt, he couldn't take the mark. Bolt, sorry. Now comes up Palmer. Throws it towards goal. Has that gone through? No, just another behind. Takes them within 2 goals, 4-5-29. They trail by 11. Tigers on 6-4-40.
It does bring it below 12, and certainly anyone's game. The Tigers have wrestled a bit of a lead as we tick in late into this third quarter.
Harris from fullback. Oh, he's found one Tiger in between a few Buffs. It'll spill over the boundary line. You'd think they can work it out here. Perhaps Politos back to Moody. Moody works it forward now. Oh, not sure what the thinking was there from Walker. Might pay off though. He's been stripped, holding the ball. Some unsolicited advice there from the Nightcliff crowd. Stokes, he goes a short one to Nicky. Maybe Nicky's the spark they need. Needs to go long though. A bit of rain starting to fall. And if they could reduce it to within a goal here, they'd be in a pretty good position heading into the final quarter, you'd think. Good work though from Moody and Paris to get involved. Paris just protected the ball as he slid. And now it spills over the boundary line. 22 minutes gone, George. Can't be much longer left.
Yeah, no, not. That's what I've been just thinking myself. It's been the Tigers doing the goal scoring in this quarter as we go to almost 22.5 minutes here. Throw in. Short one.
Double fister from Atkinson. Not sure if that's the right move when you've got only a few seconds left. Want to get it down to Campbell, to Holt Fitz, to Bolsh. Even Bradley Stokes, if he's in the area, I reckon he could do some damage. Goes up again. Bowen gets the ball down. Comes out now. Just a bit of a tumbleweed ball going through. Pendlebury throws it forward. Can the Buffs get a mark? No, it spills out the back, but they're still alive. Brown will have to go across goal here. Gee, dangerous kick. And Palmer, he might get to it first. He's got to beat Wines. Palmer does. He's got a few to beat, though. Oh, handball as he's slung over the top. It'll be a free kick to Palmer. He's played that well. Needs to load up and go. Robinson needs to get it to him quick. Just get it into the hot spot. That's exactly where he'll go. Stafford's lead came a bit too early. Holt Fitz comes out of the pack, kicks it. It's touched on the way through. Ball still alive. Over for a boundary throw, and best result for the Buffs there, George.
Yeah, but with not long left, you'd think they're going to have to make one of these forward 50 entries come off, and another boundary throw in. Certainly Atkinson this time needs to try and find a small forward, get it to.
I think the Tigers just need to hold it in here. One more contest, and I think that'll be it for this quarter. Atkinson working. Bowles just punches it. Pendlebury waiting out the back. Comes through. Oh, good smother there from Pendlebury. Good work from Paris. Just gets boot to ball. Hooper picks it up. Big strong tackle. Goes over the boundary line. You'd think the Tigers have gotten it away from danger for this quarter anyway. Good attack on the ball there from both Sharples and Bradley Stokes. So Bowen on Atkinson. Holt Fitz gets a handball through to Atkinson. Sharples through now. Ooh, almost taken high. He is. Yeah. Needs to get back quickly. And Nicky and Deary just having a bit of a quiet word to each other. Oh. Try to play onto Robinson. It wasn't clean. You need to be clean there. He's got another free kick. He'll have another crack, and you can hear the Tigers out there. They're not happy. And again, they've done it. Gee, Robinson well protected there. Kicks forward. Now Prime Train can't take the mark. There's plenty of Tigers back there. Philo, he'll throw it on the boot and barrel it down. Coulthard at the back, you'd think should take the mark. Whelan got in the way, though. There's the three-quarter time siren as the rain starts to fall, and Robinson on Stokes. Ooh, it's getting lively out there now. 1 quarter to play. And there's a bit of another scuffle in front of us as well, about 20 metres away. Holt Fitz is getting involved with some of his former teammates. The emergency umpires have come on, just directing players to get into their own huddles. A bit of spice in this one, 11 points in it.
Yeah, well, if this game didn't need any more enticement, it certainly received it now. Rodos Signature and his team to get back into it. It is 6-4-40, plays 4-5-29. A very short break in the fourth quarter on the other side.
To the left of your radio, they go.
Wow, what a goal to start the game. Beautiful. Goes for home and has nailed an absolute ripstorter.
From the pocket, and he's kicked an absolute ripper.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Moments away from the fourth quarter kicking off, and Tigers have a 11-point lead, 6-4, 40 plays for 5:29, and just a real quick run through the goal scorers of the game, Will.
Yes, so 2 each in that quarter. The only 4 goals scored, 2 each to Jay Moody and John Butcher, and singles for the rest of the game to Hooper, Politos for the Tigers, and for the Buffs it was Holt, Fitz, Vrodos, Armat Watkins and Stafford. Into the game in the Buffs, who need to go quickly, move it forward. Here's Nicky into an open goal. It's a very heavy, wet ball. Will that make the distance? It's through within the first 20 seconds. And look at the Stokes boys in the coach's box, and Coco Nicky's up and about. Oh, we've got a game on our hands, 5 points in it. Buffs reduce the margin, 5-5-35. Nightcliff on 6-4-40.
Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching this game, this is finals footy, the best of the Premier League here in Darwin, and Nicky goes bang to start the fourth. And I said it to you off stream, Will, that if the Buffs get the first of this fourth, it is absolutely game on, and I feel like the heat is just raised slightly here. The rain is cooling it off, so I don't think that's going to go anywhere, unfortunately, but the game has certainly kicked off well in this fourth. Nicky for the Buffs cuts it down to less than 6.
Back in the middle, Bowen gets a hit out, goes down, Vrodos gets boot to ball, Campbell will pick it up off the half volley, gets it through to Vrodos again, he goes inside 50, into space, and there's a free kick paid downfield. So Buffs within perhaps 2 minutes, could they hit the lead? And it'll be in the hands of Armat Watkins, is it? Or
Yep,
is it?
yep. San Armat Watkins, number 32. Already hit the front. Oh, sorry, already hit the goals this afternoon. Going for his second.
Just the 1 touch in the last quarter by our stats, which have just come up to the box. And 9 for the day. So not the worst days. You said he's already hit the scoreboard once. Can kick him. Saw him kick 8 last year out at Palmerston. It's a good kick and he likes it off the boot. Buffs are in front after just a minute 50. The Buffs coach's box a little bit more placid there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's I think the first goal by Nicky was acknowledged well by his injured captain there, Jared Stokes, in the coach's box. Really has set the momentum and the intent for the Darwin Buffaloes in this fourth quarter. Only 2 minutes gone. They've kicked the first 2 as the rain looks to slightly back off a little bit. Let us play some entertaining footy. Been treated to 2 double blues goals in just a matter of minutes.
Atkinson on Bowen in the rut. Bowen's probably got the edge on him this quarter, if not the midfielders do, in double blue. He gets a hit out there, Atkinson. Tigers working forward though. I think that was Politis getting it forward. Butcher just a bit shy from the ball. Now working forward is Gow. Good work from Stokes to get a handball out over the top to Bolsh. He overruns it though, as a lot of players have in these wet conditions. Just paddled forward by Hammond and Coulthard. He works it forward. Gee, it's wide. Will that be deliberate? What's the umpire's call? Just a throw in.
Yeah, it's been a dismal reflection, I think, so far when you look at the hit-outs for the game. I think the Tigers are well on board there. More than double Buffalo's 23-11.
And Bowen has 14 of those. So he's doing a very good job. But it doesn't feel as one-sided as that. Tigers moving forward now. Kick into the hot spot. At the fall of it is Butcher. He can't take the mark. Everyone ran over it. Has that gone through? Oh, it has. No, just touched Hooper. He tried to do what he could. He kicked their first of the day. Now getting out of there quickly is Bradley Stokes. He'll go out to Coulthard, who's been best on ground for me today still. Goes a short one to Campbell. Ooh, dangerous kick. Moo got involved. Moo's made them work for it. Moo dispossessed. Ball goes over the boundary. We'll just have a throw in. For one of these sides, it'll be the last 20 minutes or so of footy they'll play this year. The other there's next week. Who are you picking, George?
Too tight to call. I'm not going to get myself involved in that.
Free kick being paid to the Tigers.
Push on Stokes, I thought.
Or is it being paid? It's being paid to Stokes, sorry.
Yeah. But, again, with your prediction, or call for a prediction, I think when the rain has gone away, the Tigers come out to play. So we'll see if that continues. Buffalo's certainly starting this fourth quarter better of the two.
Just looking in the Tigers forward line, the Buffs forward line as well. Two former Tigers up there in Nicky and in Holt Fitz. Wouldn't they love a finals win against their old club? Bolsh, he gets in the way there. Oh, good tackle there. I think that was Bowles. Extracts it. Umpire will call it in just in the nick of time for the Tigers, because I think the Buffs might have been away there. Bowen on Mitchell in the ruck again. Mitchell having a stellar year. Good tackle from Robinson, straight onto it. Holt Fitz, he gets the ball around one, around two. Robinson, he gets a handball away after the free kick to Bolsh. Bolsh kicks it high to the top of the 50, comes down, hits the deck. You can see the water splashing up around the players there. It's very wet out there. Stokes to Campbell. Campbell inside 50. Run down. Beautiful tackle there. Great work from Jono Peris. Potentially goal-saving tackle. And that could be a momentum changer. Although the kick, not great. Sharples, it goes through him. Almost a bit of a nutmeg now with Hammond. He goes over the top to Philo. Philo on his right. Goes out. I think Caleb Walker almost taken high and without the ball, but the umpire lets it go. Gee, a lot of big bodies just sliding in. No one really taking possession, but the Tigers do now. Comes back to Brown. Brown goes. Good intercept there from Robinson. I think Hooper's got to be careful not to give away a free kick there. Umpire tells him to get a move on. Goes down. Not a good kick and a good intercept from Brown. He's been another one. He's been solid down that back line. Probably the best backman for the Tigers today, or among the best anyway. He finds Huppets close there, interchange bench. Moody waiting to come on. He could add something else to this game as well. Had an awesome third quarter. Hooper bounces off his chest. Robinson picks it up, just throws on the boot, works it forward. Campbell gets involved. Brown just paddles it back to Huppets. Huppets then throws it on the boot, goes forward to that 50-metre arc again. Stokes gets it out to Robinson. Overruns it. Aiden Robinson now. He picks it up. His tackle. Gets a handball out. Now comes to Politis. Politis goes inboard. He finds Jackson. Jackson goes to the run of Butcher. Takes a beautiful mark. Well contested. Whelan's not happy, but he did everything he could.
Needs to go back and slot this one. John Butcher currently 2 for the afternoon. He'll go all the way back and take his full 30 as well as he now comes in. John Butcher, important goal. Bit to the right, yeah.
Doesn't like that one.
Through for a minor for John Butcher that occasion, but they are in front. We've seen recently in games up here, Will, that sometimes a point will win you a game.
Sometimes that's all it takes. That's not a good kick, though. It'll be a free kick to the Tigers, which should be anyway. No, umpires will pay it a ball in. A throw in, sorry. Bowen again on Mitchell in the ruck there. Taken high there was Jackson. And Tigers just getting the rub of the green now. Busts need to cool their head. Jackson looking down the line, goes a short, sharp one. He finds Gow. Again, not a lot of offerings forward for him. Stokes gets his hand in the way. That was a good intercept there. Now to Hooper. Hooper just gets boot to ball into the centre corridor. Coulthard at the back gets it to Robinson. G's danced around his opponent out to Pendlebury. Pendlebury now goes further to Whelan, and they've got runners out there. He'll have to go to Bolsh and then keep running himself. Got Eldridge and Nicky a long, long way away, but he goes to Whelan. Whelan will take it and go. Touches it on the deck. Handballs it inboard. Hesitated there. Goes back to Coulthard. He goes back into Bolsh. Bolsh will run. He's got a runner behind him, but he kicks a long, high one. Palmer at the fall of it. Nyhouse got a hand in the way there. Big Bowen picks it up. Handballs it forward. Rodos kicks it forward. Ball stops. Stafford just toe pokes it to Holt Fitz. Should have gone for the ball. They work it forward. There's more Tigers there than Buffaloes, but can the Buffaloes out-muscle them? Now works out there and winds. He kicks it long. Out on that far side, I think it's Paris. He goes back, finds Nyhouse. Opportunity gone wasted for the Buffs there. Vrodos did so well to get it to a one-on-one, and Polsh, he gets his hand in the way. Somewhat of a comedy of errors almost happening on that far side, George.
Yeah, looks like a high tackle there awarded to Eldridge there. Just wants things to calm down a little bit. It's been very high octane these 10.5 minutes of this final term.
Goes inboard to Atkinson.
One of the more experienced heads there for the Buffaloes.
Trailing by a point, they are. Probably halfway through this one now. Just the 2 goals scored so far. Pendlebury takes it. He goes inside 50 now. Hits the deck. Toe tap forward again into the pocket. Holt Fitz will try and get to it first, but it's kicked out of there by Paris. And then just sock it again forward. Overrunning it though. Oh, Sharples had full intent for the ball, but it slid in almost dangerously. Crowd's calling for it. What will the umpires say? Ball up here, I think. Top of the 50.
I think Caleb Walker was playing for that one a little bit.
Sharples just jumped on it, and Walker definitely wrapped up.
Vrodos got a good grab as it breaks out now for the Tigers.
Goes beyond Moo. Bolsh is hot on his tail. Handballs it over the top. Coulthard, oh, nearly through. A fist in on his way through. Bolsh diving on it out the back there. Going through it again is Eldridge. He's been pretty good today too. He's in good form at the moment. Ball comes back now to Aaron Stokes. Throws it on the boot. It's a high one out there. Coulthard will have to run onto it. He does. Boundary line though. Beats him.
He almost had too much time there. Tanner Coulthard, not as composed as he's been this afternoon. As we said, one of the best on ground. Certainly a boundary throw-in though. Far side in the middle of the park.
Ball goes into the contest. Atkinson just gets a dinky little one out there. Probably gained about 15 metres ground. Not the worst result for them, but they need more than that.
Deliberate.
There you go. That's not what they wanted at all. But Nightcliff suddenly, they don't seem to have a lot of energy forward of the ball, do they? Not a lot of leads, not a lot of options. Good work from Aaron Stokes there, but again, just a high, indirect kick. Goes through the hands there of Palmer, or I think it was Bradley Stokes even, and pushing the back to him now.
One of those unnecessary pushes. I think might have been going out in the full.
Stokes goes a short one, finds Robinson. Moroney's all by himself on this side of the field, but he's probably a bit far away. So he'll go down the line instead. That's a beautiful mark there from Stafford. That's exactly what they need. About 70 from goal. He's got a pretty open forward line for now. At the crumb is Holt Fitz. He can't pick it up. A lot of bodies sliding through the mud there. Bailey Edwards, he had a great second quarter, I think it was. He works it out now of their defensive 50 and goes over the boundary line.
Just like that, we've played more than half of this final term. Nightcliff with the solitary point advantage.
Buffs with 2 goals in the first minute and 50 seconds. Now comes in, Buffs working it forward, Clark. He's been pretty quiet today, Clark, uncharacteristically so. Vrodos gets it to Pendlebury. Pendlebury try to get boot to ball. Just a kick out there. Another one, Gow picks it up. He hits the deck. Campbell gets a handball back. Gee, it's a bar of soap. You can just tell it. No one's really getting good purchase on it. Now Robinson, he works it forward. He'll have another crack at it, you'd think. Free kick, umpire calls for holding going the way of Robinson. I think that was definitely there. Almost lucky not to give away a 50. If it was dry and he did that, he'd be potentially having a shot on goal. He's gone to full forward. Stafford flies, falls out the back. And Paris, he just picks it up and goes. Stokes intercepts it. Now with Bradley Stokes, he paddles it over the top. Tigers could be away here. Gets it to Politis. Politis goes further afield again. Now with Morris. Morris goes down the line. It's a long kick, indirect. Coulthard will pick it up. Handballs it, keeps it alive. Not sure that was the right option. Butcher just throws it on the boot, gets it to full forward. Moroney picks it up. He's got Mitchell out on this side and he'll go to him. And now it could be the Buffs who are on. They've got some space and time. Oh, he needs to go quickly. Mitchell just sells the candy and lets his opponent dive in the mud. And that long kick, though, that won't work as it lands in the lap of Gow. He centres it. They've got two options there. I think this is Edwards. He's got a few players just fresh off the bench. Instead, he'll go and keep it in the corridor. Moo couldn't take the mark, and the Buffs have players out that side. But it's Shepherd Greenoff who dives on top of it. Umpire will call for a ball up. 15.5 minutes gone through this one.
Just a 1 point lead in favour of the Nightcliff Tigers and their forward 50 here. What they give or what they buy to get a goal here.
Ball comes out. Pendlebury wraps it up. Good smother from Butcher. Sharks it forward with his foot. Doesn't really gain anything. Edwards snaps on goal. Oh, there's a mark at full forward by Moody.
It's that man again.
He's kicked two in that third quarter. Come from nowhere. First time I think I've caught him this year.
And that goal just very well might come off for the Nightcliff Tigers here. 16 minutes gone. Just to take it out to a 7 point lead. And even if the Buffaloes do respond quickly, they will still be up by one. As Moody comes in.
Oh, he's missed.
Shanked it. Straight away, the hand goes to the head.
Buffs crowd, the Tigers crowd, all of a sudden not too happy with that, were they?
Need to work it forward. They need to get out of their defensive 50 here, the Buffaloes.
2 points. He goes out to Moroney. Not sure that was the best option. It's just a high one. It could be out on the full. It is. And so Nathan Brown, he'll take the kick. Butcher's all by himself at full forward. Moroney getting back to him now. A bit of a mismatch potentially. He goes into the pocket there. Whelan's in the hole. Has to be brave. He is. Philo comes through. Gets around. Robinson tackles him. Strips him of the ball. Pings him for holding. Great tackle. We've seen some beauties today, haven't we, George?
Yeah, it's been a very hotly contested contest around the ball. That's a good kick.
Robinson spots Robinson and he'll keep going. Goes to the lead of Stafford. He'll have to take on the half volley. Kicks it up instead. Now getting to it is, I think it's Simon Deary. They're working backwards through traffic. Nicky gets involved too. Wines picks it up, but he's on the fall. Clark tackles him. Ball up at half forward for the Buffs. And courtesy of Moody not converting, they're still just within a kick.
Yeah, they've had their opportunities in this final term, the Buffaloes. They really need to makeshift something from here.
Stafford takes it out, kicks it into the corridor. I don't think that'd be 15. Stafford almost crumbed his own kick. Robinson gets involved, comes down. Philo stripped again.
Gone.
2 in a row for Brody Philo. You wouldn't see that often. Vrodos, the tackler this time. He'll just launch it to full forward, you'd think. Bolt, he flies. Just sock it out of there into the back flank. And comes to a stop. Campbell picks it up. Try to keep it alive, but I think the boundary umpires have called it, and I reckon Campbell wouldn't be too happy with that because he's handed it straight back over to Brown, who's been probably best on since half-time.
Thankfully for him, it's just a boundary throw-in, but it's certainly still in a position of where the Buffaloes can threaten.
So Pendlebury, dangerous hit. Umpire lets it go. Ball still in dispute. Bolsh, he's taken high.
Yep.
He is. So he'll go back. Robinson wants it. Bolsh, I reckon, can kick as well as Robinson. And as Fay kicks it to the hot spot, is there a mark? No. Holt Fitz is there, almost held by Paris. As he took the ball, just booted out of there by Edwards. Robinson of the Will variety can't take the mark, but at the fall of the ball, didn't quite come to Pendlebury as he would have liked, so he tried to go inboard to Bradley Stokes, also around the ball there. I think it's Holt Fitz on top of it now. Gee, it's high tensions. 19.5 minutes gone. Can't be much longer left, George. No. Just the 2 goals scored this quarter. First one went to Nicky. The second one.
Sorry.
Was it Ahmat Watkins?
Yeah, yep. Ahmat Watkins kicked his second.
Ball comes down. Stafford trying to get it through. Ahmat Watkins on top of it now. Just trying to keep it in there. You'd think they probably want to ball up here. Both sides probably. In fact, Nightcliff just need to get it out of there. Buffs need to get it through the big sticks. Who's going to be the hero for the Buffs? Mitchell goes up, gets a hit out down. Still in dispute. Wrapped up in the tackle. Holtfitz is lurking. Gets it out of there. Can't take it cleanly though. Tigers are away. They get it out now. Edwards, he kicks it long down the line. Whelan will take the mark. No, he won't. Butcher puts enough pressure on. He just slaps it forward. And the Tigers are away here. It's their game now. Here comes Shepherd Greenoff. Gets it over the top again to Gow. Gow's running down the far side. It's a one-on-one inside 50. Moroney at the back. He has a go at Moody. Gets his hands involved. Moody's got 2 to beat now. Greenoff Shepherd comes in off support. Stokes. Moroney gets a handball back to Stokes. Stokes to Robinson. Now it's the Buffs' turn. They get it back inboard. Vrodos just throws it on the boot. It's a barrel. Aiden Robinson takes the mark. Best on for the Tigers in that first half. And probably opposite to Brown. He went missing in that third quarter. But still having a role in this one. Oh, not sure about that kick, but Philo's taken it and he'll slide as long as he has to. Chew up some time. And Bucksy's getting around his teammates on the bench. I think they know that they've got it here. Just 2 points in it. 21.5 minutes gone. Barrels it forward. Robinson can't take the mark. Stokes picks it up. Vrodos gets a handball away. Hooper now through. Throws it on the boot. Goes into the pocket. Comes, hits to the deck. Not quite taken over the boundary line. Plenty of Tigers around the ball, but they just can't seem to do it. The will of the Buffs is keeping them in this one. Eldridge comes away with it, now gets it over the top. Palmer throws it on the boot. That'll be out on the full. Nyhouse just paddles it over, and so we'll have a boundary throw in on the Tigers interchange bench.
Not long left whatsoever. Well into time on now.
Coach Barks, as you can see on screen there, just on the bench trying to keep control of things, though there's not much more he can do at this stage. There it is. Tigers are through. And for the Buffs, it's season over. Just 2 points the Tigers have gotten up by in a brilliant clash here at TIO Stadium. 6-7-43. They've beaten the Buffaloes 6-5-41. The Buffs kicked the first 2 goals in this final quarter within the first 2 minutes, and since then the Tigers just did what they could. A couple of behinds and held on. Who do you see as the best in tonight's game, George?
Well, I mean, despite on a losing team, I'd probably have to say Tanner Coulthard, to be honest. Coulthard, sorry, and was very resilient for the Buffaloes throughout. I think they did have some solid contributors in Brodos and Sterling Mitchell as well. Again, rattling on the Buffaloes side of things. Yeah, solid contributors there. Like you said, their back 6 for a long time in that game was holding them strong, and they almost had a chance to run it at late. Tigers, though, how did you see it on the yellow and black side, Will?
Yeah, I thought Jay Moody, that third quarter that he had is almost one of the most important quarters that he's probably had all year. He kicked 2 goals, I think, just at the end of the second quarter. He had an awesome run-down tackle as well, really set the scene for them. Butcher's second half as well was fantastic, and so too was Nathan Brown. In that first half, though, I think it was definitely the superstar, Brody Philo, along with Aiden Robinson. So the Tigers, a bit of an all-round performance, really. I think Buffs, as they usually have this year, had a few more of the superstars and top-tier players, but just didn't have enough players around the ground doing it.
Yeah, it might be a question of what-ifs, but season over for the Darwin Buffaloes. They played resiliently and tightly in this game. Nightcliff Tigers will move on to next week, and of course they will face the victor, I believe, or the loser.
The Tigers will play the loser of Waratah and St Mary's, and the winner of that game coming up next will go on to play against Southern Districts for a chance at the grand final.
George Scoufez is my name. Will Zwile has joined alongside. It's been a pleasure to have you this afternoon. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Another Men's Premier League game around the corner.